Time now for Great Day Law. Each month, we like to check in with our friend, attorney Lawyer Twilley of LA Law for some helpful legal advice.
Yes, thanks for joining us today, Lawyer.
Thanks for having me.
We are talking about car crashes while on the job.
Yes.
This is a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of employed people that have access to company vehicles now and are on the road. There's tons of truckers out there that are in company-owned vehicles, and so it happens a lot.
All right, so we got an email, or you got an email, I should say, that you've passed along to us that said, I was driving a company vehicle when I got rear-ended on the highway at full force, resulting in back and neck injuries. Do I have to pay for my own medical bills?
No, with a caveat. So when you're on the job and you get injured, that in Connecticut, that immediately falls under workers' comp, for the most part. I mean, there's a few little exceptions to that, but for the most part. So that means that you need to report that to your employer, and your employer may have a treatment plan or preferred providers that they will require you to go to for your treatment. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But you run it through workers' comp, and it doesn't come out of your pocket at all. Your medical bills will be paid for in full. There's the wrinkle to that, though, is this was a car crash by somebody that was somebody else's fault. It's not your fault. So now you have also a third-party action against those people. So what will happen is you're going to get your treatment under your employer's treatment plan. But on the other side, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working with the at-fault driver's insurance company to get you compensation for your injuries. Another wrinkle is, under Connecticut law, your workers' comp carrier is entitled to get reimbursed for money that they paid out on your behalf from the third-party person. So we're going to have to factor in if you're out of work, your lost wages, your medical bills, and also your pain and suffering, and kind of work all of those different angles.
But does your employer's insurance or coverage plan handle that third party, or do you have to do that?
We handle that third party.
Okay.
Now, your employer's workers' comp carrier may deal with that third party if you don't have a lawyer involved, but your employer will not. And another question that gets asked a lot is, well, is my employer going to be mad at me? Listen, at the end of the day, if somebody else has hurt you and your employer is going to essentially front the cost, and it's not your employer, it's your employer's insurance company, they're going to front the cost, they're going to feel a lot better about the fact that they're going to get reimbursed on the back end. So don't be too concerned about that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's overwhelming when it happens. The first thing you want to do is probably get in touch with your employer and tell them what's going on, right?
Correct.
Like, don't let that linger.
Correct, yeah. And there's the reporting deadlines. I mean, it's a big one. You have a year to report that to workers' comp so that they'll pay for everything, but usually it happens within 24 hours, 48 hours. But let them know, especially if you have a small business that you work for, let your employer know, hey, this is what happened. Who's your insurance carrier? And I have a lawyer. You can talk to them. They're going to make sure that everything runs smooth, because a lot of small business owners aren't equipped and know how to handle these things, and so they get concerned, like, what am I going to have to pay? And so we're able to kind of counsel them on that also.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, if this happens, people can call you. Like, you'll be able to help people out with these kind of instances.
Yeah, and it's free consultation. We field these calls all the time, and we'll walk you through what to expect and how we do it, and make it easy. All you have to do is focus on getting better.
That's the good news. Now, I was just going to ask, because a lot of employers will take, obviously, your license and stuff like that for their personal records, but do a lot of places take your insurance information to have just in case they need stuff?
Well, like your health insurance information?
Or your car, like if we drive company cars, do they take that information to have as backup?
Okay, so that's an excellent question. So if I understand, you're saying, does your employer get your own personal car insurance information?
To know that?
Generally, no.
Okay.
Generally, no. Your employer will have a commercial policy versus what you're going to have as a personal policy. So they shouldn't. If they are, that would be a little concerning to me.
Very good.
All right, we got a lot of questions answered. Thank you so much.
Very good.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and to contact Lawyer Twilley, just visit LALawCT.com. You can also follow him on Facebook at LALawCT or on Instagram at GetLALaw. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.